Big tits and gambling. These are the two biggest allures of Genshin Impact, and in that way, it is structurally identical to the fictional city of Las Vegas. Except, unlike Las Vegas, the fanbase consists of, and/or is attracted to, mostly children. And due to this very fact, it has become a black sheep of sorts amongst other games. You see, Genshin Impact is most notable not only for its big tits and gambling systems, but also its overall gameplay and aesthetic. You know how there's Overwatch and then there's Paladins, how there's Minecraft and then there's Terraria? It's kinda like that. You see, there's this indie game that caught some traction recently known as Breath of the Wild, which completely ripped off features and ideologies that Genshin Impact invented, such as the stamina bar, climbing, women, rain. I just wish more people could see the blatant copycat that Breath of the Wild is. It's really sickening. I've never played Breath of the Wild, nor will I, because there's two things that Breath of the Wild doesn't have, and that's these two big tits. It also doesn't have gambling. You see where this is going? I'll take my breasts of the waifu over your Legend of Zedima, or whatever the fuck his name is. So anyways, let's get down to basics, or as they say, ass tax. You may be wondering what the core gameplay loop of Genshin Impact is. It's making you wait to play the fucking game. When you're crafting warframes, after you do your dailies, when you run out of resin, when you're farming for artifacts because you just can't get one that gives you fucking crit damage and crit rate. The game literally gives you a curfew and tells you to get off after you've done your chores for the day. Unless, of course, you pay money. Basically, you collect characters through gambling and use them for your chores. These chores are the act of leveling up these characters so that you can get more primogems to gamble for more characters so you can level them up and then have them do more chores and get more primogems. So these characters all have their own varying stories, traits, bust sizes, and elements. That part is important. This colorful cast of characters includes, but is not limited to, the lady with the big tits, 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 the really hot guy, the really hot guy, the really hot guy, the really hot guy, the child, Amber, the child, the sexy ass goat, the child, it's his, okay, so his name is literally Child. It's like a joke. Characters have varying degrees of power based on their rarity, and so the more you gamble, the more likely you are to get a powerful banging character. And so it drains your money and shows you how much of a corporate, capitalist, fuck-ass slave you really are. Also, bust sizes scale linearly with the amount of gambling needed to achieve said character. Sleazy people in suits and ties and cigars actually saw these methods in use by Genshin Impact and invented these things called casinos, completely ripping off Genshin Impact and not even crediting them. Shameless. Though I will admit I have indulged, but come on, look at her, especially with that fish. Oh man, you got me fucked up, dog. Eula is actually the only character in the game with advanced jiggle mechanics implemented into the legs and ass cheeks when performing attacks. That's not a joke, by the way. That is the sole reason why I did so much, went through so much turmoil, tribulation, and trials to achieve her. And because she seems pretty chill. Get it? It's because she's like icy. A majority of the content to do are these daily quests, called commissions for some reason, where you go around and do 4 tasks like a diligent little bitch. After you do these tasks, you go back to the city and collect your reward. This gives you account XP and also drip feeds you tiny sparkly kidney stones you can use for gambling to get ladies with big tits. After you've completed your daily quests and your girlfriends, you are shown the world in a grand spotlight and nudged lightly by the game to do what you please. For a little while, that is. Because whatever you do, any boss fight, dungeon, etc. will cost this shit right here called resin, which replenishes once per day. There's boss fights, quest lines, side quests, domains, which are dungeons with a quirky name, weeklies, dailies, reputation levels for individual cities, etc, etc. So for the most part, there's tons of things to do, but the game just kind of artificially extends the game time for most of that content by limiting your experiences per day by allowing you to play more if you pay to replenish your resin. However, there's lots of things to do in the world of Teva in terms of exploration that don't require resin, such as doing quests, skipping dialogue. I'm trying to get the most efficient skips. Oh no! Getting chests, getting hurt, getting wood, getting charged as a domestic terrorist, getting stoned, getting wood, getting fish, getting laid, No, never mind. If you're playing this game, then there's no way you've seen any action since you were conceived. Woo! Up top, baby. That was good. That was good. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, baby. That's what I'm talking about. But all these are very interesting mechanics that I've never seen used anywhere else before. The act of having professions in a game was a brilliant idea by Mr. Genshin Impact, but sadly, it was copied by this game called RuneScape, I think, but it's old and shitty and doesn't have tits and gambling. Oh. Alright, so RuneScape copied that from Genshin Impact too. You know, it's actually kind of funny because I lost my family in legal matters to a man named El Macho Nasty, and he wears the same tank top every day. Anyways. The combat revolves around using these things called elements, which Dmitry Mendeleev straight up copied from Genshin Impact for this weird fucking thing called the periodic table. There's ice, liquid ice, hot shit, hotter shit, rocks, and weed smoke.
Oh yeah.
Using these elements in conjunction with one another creates certain reactions, with many enemies in the game requiring you to use these reactions or specific elements individually to defeat them efficiently. It's fucking cool. It's also hot. Get it? It's because of fire. Take a look at this. All my characters are C4 because I'm blowing this shit up, baby. Fuck all y'all. Load the fucking Glock. This shit's some gang shit impact, dog. I actually cannot pay rent due to big tits and gambling. Did you know this game has a story? I didn't. I spammed through all the dialogue. I hit my fucking crack pipe during any god-forbidding unskippable cutscenes. But yeah, there's like lore and stuff. And to be fair, I like the quests in the game. The quests are cool, but the story sucks. And I know this because I don't know anything about the story, except for the fact that there is this thing called anime that was invented by those who live on Japan, which is completely a fucking ripoff on Inazuma. And this anime stuff completely ripped off Genshin Impact's story and art style, but there's big tits and gambling, so it makes up for it. Alright, let's talk a bit about how influential Genshin Impact has been on society as a whole, or I guess let's say how much of an impact it's had. It's Genshin Impact. There's this older popular indie title known as Grand Theft Auto 5, which stole the concept of stealing cars and going on shooting sprees from Genshin Impact. There's also a small RPG on Steam, I think it's known as Skyrim, which took the very interesting concepts of dragons and swords from Genshin Impact. Recently, you may have seen a trailer for a game called Breath of the Wild 2, which took a lot of inspiration from Genshin Impact, such as its art style, design, characters, combat, etc. The show Seinfeld stole from Genshin Impact somehow. It's undeniable just how much of an impact Genshin Impact has had on gaming as a whole. Like, look at King Lear by Shakespeare. A large portion of the cast of characters in the play fucking die at the end, and death was actually a concept invented by Genshin Impact. GTA may have gambling, Skyrim may have big tits, and King Lear may or may not have anything to do with this, but the thing that Genshin Impact has above all of them is the large mammal balloons and gambling. Oh, also there's gambling and big fat mommy milkies. I want Paimon to die. If you take a look at this, I have a giant fish sword. Genshin Impact was really going hard with this innovation, but of course, like everything else in this game, it was copied by another indie developer. The biblical Holy Eucharist symbol is a giant fish, in reference to when Jesus Christ, a 5-star character, fed a crowd of starving NPCs by using his ult, which multiplied loaves of bread and fish. The writer of this webtoon, called The Bible, very clearly stole this imagery from Genshin Impact. But one thing the Bible doesn't have is a sexy-ass anime mommy who pulls a sword out of her tits often. I spend time wondering if cardboard straws were made by Satan. And also, I wonder if he took some inspiration from Genshin Impact when he made Hell. Here's a shop I built, owned by a bird. This is actually insane, because I am in severe debt due to big tits and gambling, and have lost my living residence due to it. I'm on my last leg, and I may have to sell a kidney, but it will not be my own. Also, there's gambling in this game and some really massive honkers, let me tell you. Eventually, I found something called an instrument in this game, which was stolen by Neanderthals 60,000 years ago near Cirkno, and they never even credited Genshin Impact. It's fucking ridiculous. And as you can see here, it states clearly, you can only play songs that you are the creator of. Well shit, alright, count me in. I found my calling, changed my name to Goblin Bard, and commenced forth. And after this, some random television show called Game of Thrones, I think, stole this musical piece from Genshin Impact. But one thing that Game of Thrones doesn't have are good writers. Fuck you, David Benioff and D.B. Weiss. Suck my gambler's dick, which also scales linearly with the amount of primogems I throw into the gutter. Oh, that reminds me. There's gambling and big tits, and fuck Game of Thrones Season 6 through 8. Fuck you. All in all, Genshin Impact is a solid video game that's inspired many works such as The Eiffel Tower, Trees, The Eric Andre Show. And so, if you value anime flashy bang-bangs and gambling and big tits, then either go to therapy because you're fucking autistic, or check out Genshin Impact. It's free to play for now, and it's especially fun co-op. I know this because my girlfriend carried me through everything in this game. I give it a big tits out of gambling. Check it out, cause it's actually really fucking fun. And for the 14-year-olds who came here from God knows where, how do I speak in your own language? Don't worry, this shit bussin', squad fam. Bruh. This video was just a big /S. A giant /J, if you know what I mean. It's a comedic joke of sarcastic delight. Sorry, I didn't put any tone indicators out there for you. I'll do better next time and make sure to put tone indicators after every single little thing I say so that you understand. /J.